Hi guys, we're starting a new series, Gemini North Node. Gemini North Node, I'm wearing my newspaper shirt because Gemini has to do with communication, information, sharing information, gathering information, thinking, writing, talking, discussing. That's Gemini. So we're going to talk a lot because we're in Gemini territory. But first we have to examine your South Node in Sagittarius and give you a general idea. So those of you who have South Node in Sagittarius, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised that you are watching this video because Sagittarius South Nodes, they don't really like to listen and they don't really think they need to learn anything because they think they know it all. And to their defense, you guys do know it all because you guys did so much in your lifetimes. You explored yourself to the end. I mean, you went literally to the ends of the world in your exploration because more than anything, Sagittarius loves freedom, loves freedom of movement, freedom of going, freedom of finding out, of discovering. You know, they're the wanderer, the nomad, the gypsy, the one that just, you know, leaves the house in the morning and says, I have no idea where I'm going, but I know that I'm gonna have a blast today. And that's what you guys know how to do. You know how to have fun. You know how to make the best of wherever you are. And wherever you are, there's fun around you. You guys are pranksters, tricksters. You love to have fun. Fun is a big part of you. And you guys are larger than life. You know, you have so much energy in you. You know, Sagittarius is a fire sign and it's a very mobile fire sign. You know, it's the liver of life. You know how to live life. You've lived a lot of lives with a lot of experience. You've gathered a lot of knowledge about the universe, about the world around you, about other countries, religions, philosophies. I mean, you explored everything and you have so much to share with the world. A bright example, an awesome example of a Sagittarius South Node is Mr. Donald Trump. Amazing example because the guy doesn't care what you think about him. He doesn't care how you perceive him. He just is. And Sagittarius is larger than life. Sagittarius is goofy and aloof and just so much fun. And we're gonna talk about the way that Sagittarius South Node went to the extreme, because if it's in your South Node, that means you overdid the qualities of Sagittarius. You overplayed them. So somebody who doesn't like to listen to others, doesn't care what you have to say, thinks that, I would say that everybody else around them is stupid and small and afraid and just boring, you know, plain boring. And Sagittarius thinks it's probably the coolest thing in the world. So lifetime is like that. Lifetimes of exploration, lifetimes of exploring everything from philosophy to religion to other countries to the world in general, you know, different foods, different customs. So you are my Gemini Sagittarius people, that axis of the nodes. You guys are my teachers, my speakers, you guys have so much to share with the world. And every sign, each one of you does it in a different way, you know. So as a Sagittarius South Node, you guys were the crazy preachers, the ones that, you know, preached doomsday, the ones that, you know, you led crowds, you know, you were so fanatic in your thinking and in your perceptions. You kind of lost yourself in this big world, you know, you kind of went to the deep end. And because of that, you may have these crazy fanatic ideas. And a lot of times, if somebody talks to you, they'll be like, God, do you ever just shut up? Or like, hey, can I say something? Or like, hey, you think you know it all. And God forbid you argue with a Sagittarius South Node, because I would argue you and you will just be left there, you know, they'll burn the shit out of you because they're fire that's strong, that's lively and fun. I love Sagittarius energy and Gemini energy, I do. So I always have fun interacting with people like that because they don't care. They just say what they think. They have their truth. Boom. If you don't like it, I'll find somebody else to listen to me. So this brings me to the North Node in Gemini. So if you guys preached and taught and had everybody listen to you, in this lifetime, you're more about kind of contracting your world, but not in a sense of making it small, but just really paying attention to details. Paying attention to other people, listening to other people, let somebody else talk for once, learn something from another, let another one speak. You know, Gemini North Nodes are very curious and they love information. They love exchange of information. And so with a Gemini North Node, you're here to kind of slow down. You know, I know it's hard because you're so used to having that freedom, and you kind of have to just kind of slow down and, you know, let others talk, let others speak, let others share information and learn something from your interaction with people, and not look at people as stupid and scared and mediocre, but look at them as like, hey, I can learn something from everybody, you know, because you are open-minded and you are cool about interacting with anybody. You know, you can interact with royalty the same as you can interact with, you know, somebody off the street. Like, you're cool about that because you're very inclusive. So in Gemini, you really have to open your mind to, you know, get to know the world around you, but through interaction with others, through interaction, exchanging ideas, exchanging information, listening, not so much talking and being the loudest one in the room, but listening and learning from others, you know, asking questions about others. Hey, what do you think about this? Instead of telling them, hey, let me tell you what you should do with your life. Let me tell you what's right, what's the truth. No, you know, ask the guy, hey, what do you think? How do you see the situation and why? And that would be the beauty. So I know I talked a lot about Sagittarius South Node, not a lot about Gemini North Node, but we're going to talk about it more when we go through all the houses so you can get a better idea. Okay? All right. Come along. North Node in Gemini in the 10th house. So if we look the opposite way for Sagittarius South Node in the 4th, what can we say about that? You guys that are Sagittarius South Node in the 4th, you guys are my gypsies. You guys are my nomads. There's going to be two ways that I see this placement. One is that your world, your home was the world. So that means that you have no problem. If I drop you off in Africa somewhere, you can make a home there. If I drop you off somewhere in Siberia, you can make a home there. If I drop you off in Miami, you can make a home there. So the world was your home. You literally, like a gypsy, like a nomad, you were not in one place for a long time. You kind of, I would say, because you were exploratory and because freedom was very important to you as a Sagittarius, you never really established roots. That could be one manifestation, where you were constantly moving because you could not stay in one place for too long. Either you were getting bored, or you just felt like it was too much obligation, or because the 4th is your home, it's your roots, it's your family. So maybe you regarded family as a burden, and you know, Sagittarius doesn't like burdens. Sagittarius is like, I want to be free, I want to explore. And so you saw family as a burden, you saw family as constricting you and restricting you. And so maybe your parents were just kind of raining on your parade, and you just up and left, you know, took your little bag, whatever you had, one suitcase, maybe even less, and just left and just moved somewhere and started all over again. So that's the beauty of you, is that you're very, very adaptable to any environment. You can make any environment your home. You're very comfortable with other cultures. You're very comfortable with other people, you know, traditions, and you know, you're the explorer. You know, you're my gypsy. That's it. Another manifestation of that could be that you made your home, like you became a recluse there, because Sagittarius in the South Node can also go to the extreme of shutting himself down, because Sagittarius loves you know, being out there and exploring and fun and risk-taking and let's go, let's move. But if it takes it to an extreme, it can be almost like a hermit, where Sagittarius, you know, rejects the world around them, and they think that everything out there is let's say it's wrong, it's not how they want it to be, it's defective in some way, tarnished, whatever. So if you see it, sometimes Sagittarius in the 4th South Node could be where you became a hermit, like somebody like, I'm thinking Howard Hughes, who locked himself in his home and basically made a world there, you know, and he didn't care about what people thought about him. So the recluse theme could be here too. Somebody who was, or somebody like William Hearst, you know, he built that castle and all that, and just kind of closed himself there. So that could be that, you know, it could be that you were all over the place and you could never really have a home, and you're always moving and you're always abandoning your family, and you're always just kind of running away from family and responsibilities and all that stuff because you thought it's too much, or you turned the world, you just rejected the world around you so much for whatever reason, because in your mind it made sense. Because when Sagittarius makes up their mind about something, they become very stubborn in it, and they don't want to hear anything, and no matter what you say, they're not going to change. So you made the idea that, you know what, out there it's fucked up, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to become a recluse, and there's nothing wrong with it. Sagittarius can be like that. So maybe that was the idea, you know, in the 4th house, that you literally closed yourself down in your home, and you were maybe exploring from within your house, and you really just maybe lost yourself there. You didn't take any showers, you know, kind of like Howard Hughes. That's what I would say. The Aviator, I think that's the movie with DiCaprio where he locks himself in, something like that, where you just became obsessed with your own little world, and that was your comfort zone, and you were so scared to leave it for whatever reason. Ideas like that. So now with Gemini in the 10th, you're here to be out there. You're here to be in the world. You're here to be in a solid position of knowledge, of information, of somebody who knows a lot, and somebody who can share a lot, and somebody who can speak about it and write about it and talk about it. You know, with Gemini in the 10th, you got to be out there. You got to be out there. You got to be speaking. You got to be teaching. You got to be, you know, you can't shut yourself down again. And I'm really leaning toward the idea of being so dogmatic in your idea of like my world in my living room, that, you know, maybe somebody like A Beautiful Mind, you know, where he's, you know, he creates this whole world in his basement, and that's all he knows, and that's what he believes, and, you know, and it's just so conspiracy theory idea. I mean, I don't know if I want to play with conspiracy theory, but that kind of idea where you shut yourself off and you shut yourself down in your home, in your close environment, and you shut the world outside. So now you're like, no, you're going to be out in the world. You can't shut the world out. You have to be out in the world, and you have to share the knowledge that you have, because you have a lot, and you're very good at speaking. You would be amazing at public speaking. You'd be amazing at you know, sharing information, news, whatever you want to talk about. Actually, now news is probably not the best avenue, but still, you know, somewhere where you are speaking, somewhere where you're sharing your knowledge and your information with the outside world, where you're not shutting yourself down in your basement, but you're out there and people see you and they know you and they go to you for information, and they have questions for you, and you have the right answers, and you, maybe because you spend so much time alone, maybe because you spend so much time, you probably gather a lot of information. You have a lot of wisdom. You do have a lot of wisdom. Sagittarius has a lot of wisdom, period. It just, when he gets obsessive about it, that's when it goes to extreme. But Sagittarius has a lot to teach, because like I said, you guys are my badasses. You guys are my thrill seekers. You guys are my adventurers. And so, you know, Sagittarius is always shooting his arrow everywhere. So you guys have a lot to teach and to say, and as long as you don't dominate it. But in the 10th house, Gemini, speak. You gotta speak. You gotta you share. You're out there to be in the spotlight. You're out there. You can be a spokesperson for somebody. You cannot shut yourself from the world. The world needs to see you, and the world is gonna have their eyes upon you. And once you get over the idea of fear of public speaking, fear of what they're gonna think about me, fear of getting out of your comfort zone. Maybe your home became your comfort zone. You know, maybe your culture became your comfort zone. You know, we could speak of it like that. And you're like, so let's say you came from a very society where there's a lot of dogmatic thinking, and you're here to break through that, and you're here to like get out there. Maybe some kind of oppressive society, maybe some kind of society where you're maybe your freedom was compromised, you know, because I know I talked about Sagittarius either being complete gypsy and not having a home and just kind of bouncing around everywhere, or you were somebody who maybe had their freedom taken away from them, you know, somebody who was, you know, lived in a society where you didn't feel free and you were just kind of, it was shoved down your throat that that's our roots, and that's maybe, you know, let's say Hasidic environment, Hasidic society, you know, that kind of environment where there's very strict rules about what and cannot be done. I don't know, maybe that could play here. You'll know it inside of you where you're coming from, which Sagittarius you're coming from. So yeah, so now you're here to break away from that, thinking about how, you know, what's, you know, this is what we do in our family, and this is the right way, and this is the only way. So now you're here to just kind of break away from that and be out there and not be shy to be in the spotlight, and then teach and communicate, and because people are going to want to listen to you because you have a lot to say. All right, you know, search for the truth, search for bigger truth, search for something that maybe you were told what to think, and maybe there was, you know, somebody, because Sagittarius could deal with religion as well, or maybe some kind of like closed tunnel vision of thinking. So now you're here to break away from that, and, you know, and then, you know, inspire others, get them out of that, you know, shake up their world with how you speak and how you communicate. I don't know, something like that, guys. I hope that made sense. Okay.